year. And then at the end of the year, December 9th, I got my big super match against Twinkie Boy, Ryan Grandin. We're going to be pulling in Arizona, Tucson, Arizona, and that will finish my career as an amateur. It's
I'm Dave Wilson with Utah Arm Wrestling. This is Paul Italia. Should know who he is. He has been here the past few days training with Bob Brown, and we are in Bob Brown's garage, barn, whatever you want to call it. And if you look around here with all the handmade stuff and all the tools and gadgets that Bob has, I think if the police showed up here, they think he was some kind of serial killer or something. But,
with Bob's Corner and all.
Yeah, he has all kinds of bands and looks like restraining devices, but they're not. Okay, just so you know. But Paul was gracious enough to give me an opportunity to ask him a few questions. I thought it would be good if I took this opportunity to show people a little bit about what Paul's about, a little bit about his background. I've gotten to know him a little bit over the past couple of days, and I've grown an appreciation for you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, and thank you for having me on your channel, brother. And I want to thank Bob for having me here. I feel truly blessed to be here. This is just an amazing experience I had. I had so much fun, and I learned so much, and that's what this is all about.
And that's what impressed me about you, because whenever Bob teaches me something, 5 minutes later, I forgot it.
Yeah.
So you retain it.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it.
I'm like a sponge.
There was a fire hose coming at you.
Oh, yeah.
Just amazing, the amount of information.
Yep.
And of course, Bob's going to have that on his channel, and he's going to share that with people to help the community out there.
Oh, that's great.
So, Paul, I prepared some questions for you, and I just wanted to, again, find out some things about you. So I want to ask you, where did you grow up? A little bit about your background. Where do you call home?
So I call home Queens, New York. I'm a New York guy. It's where I grew up, born and raised. I also, now these days, I live in Florida, California, and New York, and I call that my triangle.
Oh, nice, nice. And so as far as business, what is your business background, even going back to your modeling days? Okay.
So yeah, I'm an entrepreneur, guys. I got a lot of energy. I'm always on the move, always trying to take over something. And whenever I get into something, I go all in. It's either have no interest or I go totally 150% in. I first couple of things that I was a fitness model. Used to live in Miami, and I did the full-time fitness model, and got me to learn how to train my body, how to do nutrition, all that. Really gave me a strong foundation in fitness. I also was in real estate. I'm in the marijuana business. I have an antique and collectibles business. And actually, as of right now, I'm in the middle of getting into owning laundromats and car washes in Florida. That's my new project that's going on right now.
Just continuing to go.
Yeah, I never stop, man. There's not much sleep coming over here. I'm just always on the move.
Good for you.
Thank you.
And then, so you've already explained your knowledge of fitness and things from your modeling days. So how did you first get interested in arm wrestling? That
was a pretty crazy question, man. So I was training in North Cal, and I was at one of the gyms I go to, and I was in one of my beast mode sessions, growling, grunting, just putting up some crazy weight. And this nice couple came up to me, and they approached me, and they were like, yeah, we were watching you work out. You seem very strong. We would love to see if you would be interested in coming over and maybe arm wrestling. So I looked at them, I'm like, arm wrestling, huh? And I actually had one of my friends in from New York visiting. And we actually, when we were back in high school and college, we used to arm wrestle. And, I didn't do it on a table or anything. It was more like cafeteria table. But I was the guy. I was the guy that nobody could beat, man. Once I got that wrist turned in, I was the man. So, I was like, all right, yeah, I'm down. So they said, come over our house Sunday. So we go over to the house. Now, mind you, when I first seen this couple, I'm sizing up the guy. This guy's 6'6", about 300 pounds. I got in my head, I'm going to rip this guy's arm off. I'm like, this guy has no idea what he's getting into. I was like, I am super strong. I live in the gym. This poor couple, they don't know what's coming their way. Well, I'm waiting for him to get on the table. Now, the lady gets on the table and goes, come here. So I'm just looking, I'm waiting for everybody to start laughing. And I'm like, is this a joke? Now, she's about 125 pounds, about 5'4". So I'm looking in my head, I'm like, I could curl her with one arm. What is she going to do to me? So I'm like, all right. So I get on the table and I'm like, I'm going to go easy on her. Next thing I know, wow, I don't even know what just hit me. It was like a Tasmanian devil. So I'm like, try that again. Does it again. Talk about being humbled, my man. Like, it was unreal to me. So before I left, they gave me their name and they said, Google it and put in arm wrestling. So I got to admit, I was so broken down from what this lady just did to me. I didn't even want to think anything of this couple, So I waited like a week. I'm laying in bed one night, couldn't sleep. And I'm like, you know what? Let me Google who they are. Well, it made me feel a lot better once I Googled them up. Turns out it was Nancy Locke and Eric Waffel, super unbelievable world champions, been training 20, 30 years. So it definitely helped me. But I was like, okay, this is not too bad. After that day, it never stopped. And I swear to this, every second of that day after that, I'm always thinking arm wrestle. It was just, I'm hooked, literally hooked.
Good. Hey, that's awesome. Great story. And now this is a question everybody's wondering.
Mm-hmm.
How tall are you, Paul?
I'm a short guy. I'm 5'6". I grow sideways. I don't go up and down.
Yeah, let's stand up for a second. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, you're 5'6".
Yeah.
I'm 6'2", by the way. Okay. And how much do you weigh?
I walk around anywhere between 195 and like 210. But like I was telling you, my weight could fluctuate from 176 all the way up to 220. I was telling you, I got 3 sets of sizes of clothes because, it just changes so much. When I was a model, I would be down at 176, 3% body fat. I really know how to manipulate my body, and also I'm pretty good at, cutting when I need to cut or bulking up and getting big.
Wow. Okay. And what was the first arm wrestling tournament that you ever competed in, and how did you do? Okay.
So the first arm wrestling tournament was probably about 4 or 5 months ago, and it was the Cobra Classic, which, Cobra Rhodes, legend of our sport, put in an amazing event. I actually helped him out with that. I promoted his event. That was my first tournament ever. I went into the 200-pound class, amateurs. I was, a little nervous, had the butterflies and everything, never really did the ready goes. I did very well. I came in second place that day. Felt amazing. It just got me like so into competing, and I just wanted more of it. So my next one to compete was at the Florida Arm Wrestling League. That was about 2 months back, and I won that. I mean, in dominating fashion. And the only difference from the first one and the second one was my nerves. I went into this second one knowing I was going to win. I was so confident, and I was like, I'm just going to rip through everybody. So far in my amateur career, I've only lost to one person, and that one person beat me twice. And that was Tyler Noblet. Shout out to Tyler. I'm coming for you, brother. I'm going to get my redemption, but I'm going to do a couple more amateur and semi-pro tournaments till the end of the year. And then at the end of the year, December 9th, I got my big super match against Twinkie Boy, Ryan Grandin. We're going to be pulling in Arizona, Tucson, Arizona, and that will finish my career as an amateur. It's for money. The promoter's putting up $1,000 to the winner. So after that, now I am technically a professional. 2024, 198 pros. I'm coming for all you. Oh, yeah, Bob Brown over here laughing. But mind you, he didn't want to get on the table with me yesterday at all. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, I'm a witness. So in these amateur events, you competed at 198 then?
Yes, 198.
Okay. Did you do right and left?
No, I have not pulled left in competition yet. So I'm going to be pulling September 9th at the Florida Arm Wrestling League. That will be my first day for the amateurs with left. But what I am going to do on that one is I am going to pull up. I'm going to do 198, 220, 242 with my left.
So what is more important to you then, winning or excellence?
Pretty much, I want to do something like really nobody's ever did, man. I want to come in and just be dominating from the beginning. And, that's my goal. I don't know necessarily if I'm going to stay in the 198s when I go to the pros. I will be making that determination before the end of the year. I was possibly thinking of cutting down to 176, but, I'll be talking with my coach, Bob Brown, and we'll kind of figure out what the best move is for me.
You're a pretty good coach there.
Oh, the best.
And so now getting to this pro level,
yeah.
What, other than Bob, what arm wrestling group do you train with that benefits you the most?
So that's one thing I got a real advantage, I feel, over most people. Me living in 3 different states and all, I get a lot of hands to grip up with. My home base would be the Petaluma Punishers. Shout out to Israel Chavez, my boy Donovan. They've been with me since day one. They were there that first day when I started my training. They really helped me take it to other levels. I train with them. And then in Florida, I got 2-3 different teams over there. Chris Rusakis, Dane Seller, Mox Tobin, train with all those guys. And then when I go to New York, I got my boy Mike Aiello, Steve Black. So wherever I am, I got a solid foundation and of teammates to grip up with and really test myself.
Good. Now, you had a chance to pull local guys last night.
Yeah.
How was that? How'd that go for you?
Yo, these guys out here are strong. I don't know if it's in the water or something, but they definitely are very, very strong. What I was most impressed with was the knowledge. There was a lot of guys, everybody I was talking to seemed to be in for, 20 years or had some crazy story of how long they've been pulling and, pulling with John Brezink and Todd Zilla and Craig Toulier. So it was amazing, just the wealth of knowledge in the room. And that was one of the things that stood out compared to my other teams. My other teams, don't get me wrong, we got a lot of veterans and OGs, but this seemed to be the next level of guys that were like 20 years plus.
Great. So who are your favorite arm wrestlers?
All right, now that's a tough question to answer because a lot of these arm wrestlers have come good friends of mine, and what I want to first say is I have respect for all the OG arm wrestlers, guys that have been in here 20 years plus. Those are my favorite guys. Those are the guys that have proven they're here for the long game. And I've got to hang out with a lot of these guys, and I see each one of them has their unique strength that has brought them the success that they've witnessed on the table. So I just like to learn from them all. But if you had to corner me and just say, give me the list, it's your basic list everybody's going to give you. You got to have the GOAT, John Brezink, Travis Bajent, Engin Terzi, Jerry Caderet, Hermes Gasparini, Dennis Saplenkov, Levon. I love them all, man. I can't just single it down to one or two. I just have respect for all those guys.
Great. Okay, so being that you've trained with all these different groups that you talked about, and OGs, as you put it.
There you go.
Who has given you, in your opinion, the best advice and the best training advice?
Okay, so that's a very good question. When I first got into the sport, the first year, I was blessed to get coached by Engin Terzi. Granted, it wasn't in-person training. It was FaceTime, phone calls, but, we hit it off. We had a connection. We have a really good friendship. So, I would really get a lot of info from him. I have his whole library of every exercise he does, the training and all his secrets and tips. And I hold that, I cherish that. I don't let nobody see that. I've never showed anybody else. That is kind of like my little secret weapon right there. So Engin was definitely one of them. Scott Wynn from SoCal. He's been in the game for a long time. Me and Scott have a great friendship, and first year and a half into the sport, every month we would link up. I'd either go down to him or he'd come down to me once a month. We'd get our training. Now, every week I'm on the phone with Scott after practices. I'm letting him know how I felt, sending him videos. He's critiquing me, helping me get better. Another person, very pivotal in getting me to the next level, Travis Bajent. Me and Travis were very good friends. We teamed up. We did promotions together. Every 2 weeks, we were in another state together. And from that, he would be training me for, we'd be together 2-3 days, every day, 4 or 5 hours a day. All we're doing is arm wrestling. And yes, I was new then, and the stuff he was teaching me was very advanced. But from hearing it over and over, it is just, it's ingrained in my head. So now I'm on the table, I get stuck somewhere, I could hear over my shoulder Travis's voice, elbow forward, hand to your face. It's like, it's just ingrained in me. So I gotta say, when he was teaching me then, it might have been too advanced, but because I remember everything, today it's helping me out majorly. It's just, everything's starting to make sense. Now, this last week, coming to Utah, getting my coach, Bob Brown, I got to say to everybody, this man has a gift. He really knows how to describe how to arm wrestle. There's a lot of people that know how to arm wrestle, but they really don't know how to say it in words. This man, the detail is just next level. And I feel from this relationship that we just started, my training is really going to start progressing even faster, because it's just the stuff like the connection. And that's the other thing, the connection that I had with Bob Brown, I was on the same wavelength right away. So it's just like he tells me something, it just makes sense right away. So I really feel like connecting with Bob Brown is going to bring me to a whole nother level.
Good. You hear that, Bob?
I heard it. It's all lies. Here, I'll come over and I'll say something, because I thought that was, I hope it can see me. So I will say this. It was beneficial for him to have already been coached by Travis and Ingen and Scott, and because there's a lot of stuff I was showing him that he had already been shown, and he picks it up fast, which was great. I mean, then I'd show him some more intricate stuff, and he was like, oh my God. And normally people it takes him forever to figure it out. He was figuring it out.
That's me.
Like that. Yeah, Dave, I got to show him 1,000 times to get one thing done. I could show him once or twice and he would get it. So kudos to that.
I got to say, just hearing that, guys, I got a huge smile on my face, man. That just means so much to me coming from Bob Brown, because I know Bob Brown has no filter. He'll just tell you straight up, you suck on the table. He'll tell you that straight up. So that means a lot coming from Bob.
He tells me that every day. Okay. Now you mentioned Travis.
Yeah.
And that you guys had done some events together.
Yeah.
Are you planning on promoting more events?
Okay, I gotta admit, guys, I'm not really sure with that. Let me kind of give you why I got into promotions to begin with. You guys all know I went through 2 surgeries when I first got into the sport. So, 6 months in, popped my bicep. Anybody that knows me knows I'm a gym guy. I'm in there 2-3 times a day. You take the gym away from me, I'm gonna go out of my mind. So I went into promotions. I teamed up with Travis. Travis was throwing events all over the place. Me and him just 50-something events through them in a matter of a year and a half. Now, this was all during COVID. This was when nothing else was going on. I saw a need for arm wrestling. I wanted to bring people super matches. I did this, nothing was for money. This was more of a charity. I just love this sport so much, and I just want to be a part of it and bring super matches and all that. So that's why I did that. But now arm wrestling is in a lot better position. I see guys like Engen Thursday, East vs. West. I see King of Table, bunch of new up-and-coming organizations in the States. We got the High Five crew throwing the knuckles up. So there's a bunch of big organizations putting out big productions now. I don't see a need for me to be there now and doing that. Right now, I am focusing on myself as an arm wrestler and just to help grow their sport. And I got to admit, when I was a promoter, I got a lot of love, but I got a lot of hate also. And it just something that wasn't sitting right with me, because these people were thinking I was just here for the money or whatever. This is the last place I would be for money with arm wrestling. You know, it was more of my passion. So now as an arm wrestler, it's all love. I don't have these other organizations looking at me as competition. So I want to say this to all you organizations out there. I want to help. Whatever I could do. You guys need somebody to do interviews for your big event coming up. You need somebody to help with promotions. That's what I'm here for. That's why I made that promotions company originally, but it kind of backfired on me. Instead of people seeing me as the guy to come and help promote their event, they saw me as competition, and that's the last thing I want to be seen as. I don't want to compete with you guys. I want to help grow you. So if you guys need help, Paul Italia is here to help you guys out.
I want to add to that. I'm going to walk over here.
Here we go. We have Bob again.
Yep. I want to interject. So
You're welcome too.
I feel exactly. Hey, here's my water. I have my arm in ice right now. That's exactly how I feel and how I have tried to help the sport. I really don't care about promotion. I do the Jumpers Income once a year. You know, that's it. But like this 12-man round robin I'm a part of, I just think that event is unbelievable. He's managed to get 12 of the best guys, the 154-man round robin, the 176-pound round robin. He has managed to get the monsters to show up. And part of it is the prize money. So I've added some prize money to those events to help just get the monsters there, because I know if all the monsters are there, that's what everyone wants to see, that the arm wrestlers like that. You know, the Team USA sponsorship, we've been blessed to have some guys help with that, you know, and that's where I think Paul has the same mindset as me. He'll help. If he sees someone else doing something that he thinks is cool, he'll help with that. You know, I mean, I think that's the way, like, that's what I do. If I see an event that I think is cool, then I'm going to help with that event.
Yeah, so don't look at me as competition, guys. I'm not here to compete with you guys as far as promotions or I'm help arm wrestling grow. Whatever I can do, I'm down.
Awesome. And for the last question, I know you mentioned you're going to go this year as an amateur. Next year, you're going full out pro.
Yep.
How far do you want to take it? Do you want to go for like world titles?
I want to take this as far as I could get it. You know, as best as I could be an arm wrestler is where I want to bring this. My dream is to be on the big stage one day. I want to be on East vs. West. I want to be on King of Table. You know, so I will do anything I got to do to get there. I'm willing to put in the work. I got the best coach. You know, that's what I'm trying to do as an arm wrestler.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Dave, for having me on. I really appreciate it. And guys, if you haven't already, get over to my YouTube channel, Paul Italia. Check it out. Got tons of arm wrestling content on there. I'm now going to be documenting my journey through arm wrestling. I'm going to show you guys as I get ready for my amateur tournaments. And then you're going to get to see me transition from an amateur to a pro. So definitely get over there and check me out.
Great. And also remember, practice wins matter.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
All right.
Thank you again.
Thanks, Paul.